very big. So sound thing is really loud right now, and
put pressure on the
definitely hearing it. So yeah, I'm just gonna do. Goodness gracious, just quiet down for there. Now we're rocking. We're looking a little better now. A little close. And this and be doing wrestling, watching. So I'm gonna be watching and doing just kind of. I know you guys like wrestling. Watch some wrestling. I'm gonna have the chat up, so you guys can ask about all the new things that have essentially released with the Born to Win. So if you guys are thinking any questions, anything like that, go ahead and hit the chat. So I'm going to do some other stuff here, and I'll be kind of buzzing around on some different socials. So until then, you guys on the stream get to watch me post the story. Yo, what's up, everyone? Right now, I am streaming the NCAA for the next until the conclusion of March. So on the link right there to go. So if you have any questions, you're going to be able to talk about it right there on the live. See you over there. Watching my. What do you guys think? All right, I'm gonna go the mic, and so it's mute. If I have sound, guys, here we go.
Biceps, bro. Nice. Here we go. Gets to the that leg squared up. Unbelievable. That was going now. He's got to keep behind. Go behind. Go behind. Seconds for a shot here. He needs hiding time for Coleman. Would win. It's there of Coleman. spread out there. He's not have enough time. Good job by both guys. Respect for each other there. Good to see.
Hawk showdown, and is the winner. At 197, open in this one. Bernie Truax, their favorite, going to Cal Poly. Big time out of the zoo.
Dogs help us live longer. With Fresh Pet. No preservative, no fillers.
A man, his family, his track is their playground. There's a story in every piece of land. Run with us on a giant tractor and start telling yours.
In Alaska, wildfish are plentiful, but the potatoes. So he stepped in to pick up that sack. $5 crispy fish and fries. Arby's have the meat.
Why are you so upset?
You know, I am upset. And you're Irish. Notre Dame Irish pull off an upset.
Week 5 of the XFL kicks off tonight and continues all in.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture descriptions or accounts of the game without the NCAA is prohibited.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship first round begins tomorrow morning, 11:30 Eastern on ESPN2. Marquette square off against USF, followed by Georgia, Florida State, 3:30. Southern Utah Saturday, Hawaii matched up against OSU. Every game available on the ESPN anywhere. Back here inside the POK, couple classes to go here in session number 2. And the number 1 here in Nino, Pittsburgh, going up against Owen Pence of North Dakota State. Of course, the only undefeated bracket last year. And ever since he moved to 1, he
said that I need to spread this like a business trip. I got a chance to watch him on Tuesday and Thursday. Just realized I was see it undefeated here at 197. But I was really his technique. I think he's an underrated scrambler. In that category.
Right matchup. Silas Allred of Nebraska, Penn State.
Finals there. Three takedowns and out there making his top was there. That's him. He's using he was wow, he went right back to it. That's what I could do it. He defended his head. Do it again. Second time around. Good job at Already.
Being the national champ, a 3-time All-American, met his brother Gabe in the stands last year as a 2-time national champ himself at Cornell. Early in this season, a little bit of a bump in the road. Back-to-back losses against Michael Beard of Lehigh, Ethan Laird of Ryder over a 3-day span in December. And now in
critical stage right there. They go off the mat. That's one point escape there for Dean, but the riding to keep the cooling all. Exactly. So he's got to let it go. Ditch it.
In that big match. native of Anderson, is with Eric Schultz, who started for 5 years. Out as an All-American last year in Detroit.
And go right back to that same hands to a shot. Now he right. Back over the top. He is. They run out of shot. Looks the exact leg, the ankle, the neck time. That shot just
and more with confidence. And I can get to his legs and I can finish.
I don't know how the streaming situation works, but I think what would probably be best in terms of that way, making sure, I guess I don't get kicked off. Just watch it along with me. I'm going to keep it kind of down and kind of talking here once we kind of get going. So essentially, like I'm behind the actual what the actual live is. The live says it's going to be. I feel like you were watching on ESPN. I know it's done at 9:30. They got the XFL game that's coming on after it. So I'm here going to be kind of doing some other stuff and talking more, I guess, about the more than anything in terms of how the camps are structured, how camps are going to work. I'm going to go full mute on this for while talking about the camp about this. So with the camps and the way that the camps are going to be set up and the way that the camps are going to be structured, they're set up as 4 days. So with those 4 days, it is 4 days and it is 3 nights. So I'm gonna mess up the dates. I'm gonna have them pulled up here. I know the actual dates, but I'm gonna make sure I have the actual days of the week. Importantly, the Denver that is in Westminster. It is north of Denver. It's going to be at the DoubleTree Hotel and Ballroom, I guess. I don't know if it's Convention Center or the Ballroom that I guess that we're using there. But with that is I want to say it's I think it's a Monday check-in. So it's a Monday check-in. Monday at 3 is going to be when check-in and that whole function is, and we start, there's a night session that starts at 5 and we get rocking and rolling from there. There is then dinner and then another session. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 8, 10, 12. Yes. Initial session, dinner. Second session, sleep, wake up, morning workout, breakfast, morning session, lunch, afternoon session, dinner, after dinner session, bed. Same thing Wednesday, morning workout, breakfast, morning session, lunch, afternoon session, dinner, night session. Sleep, morning session, breakfast, workout, morning session, leave. Camps over. The way that they're going to be structured, there are kind of some differing of it structured early. In things that the prime function right after it's alert. That's when things are rocking and rolling. That's when everyone's good to go. That afternoon, that session is when that's when all the different fun prizes and giveaways and there's going to be a lot of that session. It's be a lot of fun, a lot of stuff given away. You guys are really gonna enjoy that session, both for you guys, for me, all the other coaches and other wrestlers are gonna be there. Like the afternoon session, I'm telling you, that's gonna be the most fun. It's the most I'm actually the most excited about. The other stuff is awesome, but like these afternoon sessions, on the last day is the same thing with this kind of a little bit in there as well. It's an intensive camp. I'm not it is an intensive camp that you're back. This isn't a, oh, let's just come in, hang out and learn. So no. Like there's this camp is you're getting better at wrestling, you're getting better as an athlete, you are getting better as a man or woman, young man or young woman, and that is how it's going to be structured. It is not a, just kind of show up and give slight effort. No, I'm expecting 110% from every single wrestler that shows up to this camp. I going to be giving it my best and my all. I expect the exact same from you guys, and I'm going to hold you guys to that standard because I'm going to hold myself to that standard, and that's the standard that I hold myself to all the time. This camp more set up in a way, in a structure. You're going to get better at wrestling because I wrestling coaches long term, coached in Ed 6 were either Olympic world, they were very good. I had two uncles that were both Illinois that were very big influences on how I coach it, and then two coaches. So I guess D1 wrestling. I guess they were both D1. So, I'm a very big information. I love sports, but most importantly, like wrestling life and kind of is my life. At the amount of times and different coaches getting different teachings out and like counters. There's a large arsenal of wrestling. I'd say in potential. I don't know. They come jitsu wise if people myself will belt. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm one of the best here. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm the best wrestler ever. I'm not going to tell you I have all the information. I'm going to tell you I'm a really good learner, and I'm going to tell you I retain a lot of information, and I'm going to tell you all the stuff that I've failed and I've done wrong, and what I learned from all I've done wrong, because I've got a very long list of mistakes that I've made. There's a very long list of matches that I've won where I've made limitless mistakes, and there was a lot of times that I just really will break down my own film and understand how poor I wrestled in a match or what it really looked like. But at the end of the day, it's over and past. Now what I have is the lessons learned. So for this same that goes into the camp, it's going to be fun 4 days. At the end of the day, it's fun. It's going to be fun is the only thing of the things that were the most fun in my life is they required my absolute best, and it was something that wasn't easy, because anything that is easy and requires no effort about, if it's cold, requires a lot of effort. If it's pretty tough, but costs, thing you both mental always ends up being fun. Like you don't talk about the one or two, even if you walk through the whole tournament, you walk through the whole one, you don't talk about that tournament problem. Talk about how that tournament, because to some degree it felt too easy. The tournaments that you're like, oh, you would not believe I had this triple. I got kicked in the face twice. I had these lines across my nose, and who was a two-time Tulsa champ, and he was coming to Tulsa champ that year, and this was a consolation quarterfinals match. And if I win this match, it's close, and it's in a big. It was nationals. Like, that was an exact remembering of a tournament and a match where I was just initially started off as like, oh, just a general example, but because it's ingrained in my memory of like, oh, that's why I went there. That was a really cool experience. That match I ended up losing, but I had more fun in that match in what was a loss, where I was, yes, very upset that I lost, but I knew that that match required my absolute best, and it was something that was very challenging, and I did lose, and there were some other things that went with that, but I knew that because, hey, that was a match that I know that I left it all on the mat, and I gave it, my best effort. I I had to last. That's what I want it to be. Not going to be something, and it's gonna, you're not gonna break a sweat. No, we're gonna be working. The whole thing that I talk about all the time with all these different TikTok videos, and the initial thing that there's nothing like wrestling shit. There isn't. If there was, you wouldn't see wrestlers dominating. In wrestlers do. You, I don't care what it is. I will 100% guarantee you, with exception of what it takes to do the sport, because or what about water polo, or what about whatever, that is taxing on you as wrestling, plain and simple, period, end of story. That's it. There's no need for a conversation. I was a gymnast. It's very tough sport. It requires a lot out of you, but in a different realm. It requires the toughness. It requires skill. It requires aptitude and ability. Infinite of wrestling styles. It is against your opponent, also you against. That's the difference. It is, at the end of the day, a martial art. It is a combat sport. So think about combat sports, talk about boxing and MMA and all of those, yes, are very, very martial arts, and they all require some toughness and work and athleticism, and go down the list. But at the end of the day, the wrestlers being the most elite of all. Saw talk about it. Wrestlers at the dirt, they dig, they needed. It's a tough out of it, except for victory. So when people talk about other things, challenge, it is best, it is not as tough as wrestling. Because wrestling, having that back, that's something that changes. It is. It really is. That one simple element changes the sport drastically, where you have to have someone change. And so now that it's out of commercial break, I initially talked about the camp for a little bit. So for those of you guys just joining, just getting into it, what you guys can scroll back if you need to. If any questions on the camp, I kind of talked through a lot of it. So I'm bringing kind of the wrestling back up. We're going to kind of get rocking and rolling back here. Also, if you guys have any questions, anything like that, just go ahead and leave them in the chat. Leave them in the thing. You know what I'm saying? Where's the volume on this, John? There she is. Oh, well, never mind. Look at that. Went right. Thanks, ESPN. We're gonna hide this real quick. We're gonna move forward here, because since it's behind, that way we don't have to watch the That way we don't have to watch the commercials. Which makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it? I thought it did too. All right, we're back, locked and loaded here. Boom. There we go.
Gibbons, Quint Kesnick with you, and Bernie Truax.
Slides the hips and puts a headlock, steps over, gets 2 swipes against server of Oklahoma State. The number 2 seed, you may not have heard of Cal Poly, but they got a good program. They're regular season Pac-12 champs.
Well, they've got one of the best wrestlers in recent history. Evan Wick on their coaching staff now with John. Evan Wick on their coaching staff now with John Cerritos there. Truax, Pac-12 champions this year for the second time in the last 3. But he's really their best. He's really their best toe to up on the podium. One of 5 Mustangs in the field, but the 4 others are seated 30th or worse.
Go out there and get a big move like that, 4-1 lead. You know, it's 2 points in a time where you still got to stay on your offense, just like it was at a 0-0 match. Look at the situation collapses to his stomach. That position is going to give us the 2-point takedown.
Good scramble here.
Just dropped his hips, just kept on spinning.
So high this year for Ethan Laird, trying to become an All-American for the first time in what is his 6th and final season. MAC champion this year. Registered a win. Earlier this year against Max Dean and Penn State. His only loss. The Southern Snowball against Owen Pence of North Dakota State. So Ethan Laird continues on to quarterfinals. Tanner Sloan of South Dakota State with a 3-0 lead over Jacob Cardenas of Cornell. Keeping an eye on the Big Red right now, and those teams. Their name in there, and that mix behind Penn State, the favorite. Cornell sitting 6th, and the team standings right now, tied with Nebraska.
Cardenas is coming on really strong towards the end of the year. That elbow has the elbow right to a shot.
And then the heavyweight bracket now.
Sam Schuyler, Iowa State. Lucas Davis in Northwestern.
That was a good mat return. I think it hit the point of the shoulder.
That's a start.
At that point right there, look, the referee did not call anything at that moment. But it's the responsibility of the guy in the advanced position to bring the referee down safely. That arm was catcalled.
Yeah, it was trapped and really kind of brought him down on the point of the shoulder. There's no technical violation for slam there.
Yep.
I think that
that arm was trapped.
It was. And you were responsible for bringing it up. You exactly explained the way the rule is right there. And really, I've seen less called.
Yep. I mean, if they called that for unnecessary roughness, I had no argument with that. When you saw it, so let's look at it again.
Look at the left arm is trapped by Skylar. C.C. Davis will come up to the top. Right there, got it right there. And you're responsible for bringing the step. And the first thing he landed was the shoulder there. So that's looks like Skylar's going to be all right. So I'm going to foul, I think, hopefully.
Well, it should have been a foul. Tough. Hey. That was just a miscall. There's no way around that. When the arm is trapped, that's just a miscall. There's no way around that. When the arm is trapped like that, you got to be able to safely take the rest of the back.
And he took the injury time out, too.
Right. So still sits there and don't know about it. So that means that Davis will have to David is going to the down position, so inches away from possibly getting called for a slam. Now he's got an advantage.
Position
goes down.
You could tell from the way that Skyler hit his immediate reaction was a grimace.
Yeah.
You said no harm,
So
no
no
foul.
foul. There's
Some
some horizontal foul.
That was bad explanation.
After this call, the other way around.
Just a missed
Just
call.
a missed call.
Now Davis.
Interesting. Sorry, a lot of there's just a lot of things that go on when you leave a handful of things kind of off for a second, and the next thing you know, you look back at something and it's gone crazy. So
Tomorrow, you want to feel it. You know what it also does is maybe get Skyler a little bit more on his offense right now in this match, third period. So Lucas Davison pretty good at holding lead, so he doesn't. It's pretty difficult to kind of push him around. It's all of about 240 right now.
any questions on the camp, anything like that, you guys just can go ahead and leave it in the chat. Any comments like that do pop up. I will be able to see it, so that way if you guys have any questions, anything like that, any more details and stuff, I can definitely explain anything that you guys may be wondering, anything like that. Otherwise, it's just straight up watching the kind of tail end of some wrestling tonight. Get ready for next few nights. I'm going to be doing the same thing the next few nights, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
The number 1 seed at heavyweight, Mason Paris, following in the footsteps of Adam Kuhn and Ann Arbor, who had some great legendary battles in years past with Kyle Snyder of Ohio State. Tay Ali out of Campbell, winner of the SoCon this year, 24-3 coming into this matchup.
Davison almost giving up that sweep single there by Skyler, and they go off the mat. A good hit right there, so only 12 seconds left.
Here's the one thing that kind of gets me about heavyweights and how heavyweight has changed over the last handful of years. You can just see the fact that, like, most of these guys, in terms of getting close to that 285 number, so many of them are not anywhere close to that. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, a lot of these guys are some big boys, and they're definitely getting up pretty close, but it's nothing in comparison to, these guys are
the winner over Skyler.
Just the different build of the last.
Out-wrestled his seed, finishing 6th, 9th seed for the 2nd straight year.
Interesting to watch how it used to be. I remember when I first started watching these and just seeing the difference in how the sport has changed and evolved, and how it's fun, and seeing the speed increase, change, and it's kind of fun being able to see that happen too. So not really much on it. So I think that's actually probably even going to be it from, the fact that it's going to commercial. It's heavyweights. To some degree, yes, we love the heavies. We love the things like that. But in most on the real terms, I think that's probably going to be it on the stream. Just the fact that I know it's now no longer live. I'm going to do this the next handful of days. So as the wrestling goes on, it's not something that, I'm going to be here for the next few days, and I'm going to actually start it earlier on. I didn't think about doing it until after it was already like 8:00. So the fact that I started when I did, just tune back in tomorrow. We're going to do the exact same thing and get rocking and rolling. So until then, I will see you guys tomorrow.